In my last video, I said if you guys got the Stefon Diggs Houston Texans rebuild to 100 likes, I would do a Bills rebuild without Stefon Diggs, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, and all that jazz. And of course, you guys absolutely crushed that, getting well over 100 likes within, I believe, like 5 hours. So I'm going to make the like goal for this episode 150 likes, and I'll do whatever the top commenter says for a rebuild. But for the overlook of the team, of course, Josh Allen is really only the really nice piece on this offense. Of course, you got James Cook, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Those are all nice pieces as well. But of course, it's just not as a standout piece as Josh Allen himself. Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins, and Shakir is his now top receivers. Khalil Shakir, I forgot about him for a second, but he's actually a pretty solid receiver in real life. Defensively, they lost both their starting safeties. They lost Tre'Davious White, and then over a year ago, they lost Tremaine Edmonds. But still, the defense isn't horrible with Matt Milano, Von Miller, who is kind of being overpaid at this point in his career, but he's still putting up numbers whenever he is on the field, but he's not really on the field that much. Gregory Rousseau, he's looked pretty nice as well. They gave Ed Oliver a really big contract in real life. I believe that was like well over a year ago. Teron Johnson, Rasul Douglas are nice whenever they're healthy. And then Kyer Elm here, he's not really that good for a first round pick. Hopefully he develops. I'm not hating on him, but like from what we see right now, how I see it as it is right now, because that's always how I see things. I don't care about potential. I want to see how things are as they are. He's just, he's whatever, I guess. But of course, we're trying to fix this Bills Super Bowl window because they definitely missed it. Let's be real here. I believe last year was really their year to do it. They had the Chiefs at home. That was their year to do it. They didn't have to face the Ravens. Well, they didn't have to face the Ravens because, of course, they couldn't beat the Chiefs in the divisional round. But they would have had to face the Ravens. Either way, they had to get past the Chiefs. They couldn't do it. I feel like they missed their window to win the Super Bowl. In real life, it's obviously going to take a lot longer. So Bills fans have come to my channel to cope with Stefon Diggs leaving and their Super Bowl window leaving with them. So with that being said, the Buffalo Bills have a late first round pick, getting Xavier Worthy out of Texas here. 99 speed, 99 acceleration, crazy athletic, ran the world's fastest 40-yard dash time. I don't know if it's considered the world's fastest, but NFL Combine history, definitely. Hidden Dev, of course. A lot of B's across the board for B deep route, B spec catch, but F catch and traffic and F catching, I don't know if that's right. But either way, he's going to be the new Bills wide receiver 1, hopefully. In the second round, I'm getting free safety Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota, 6'2", 210, hidden dev, 87 speed, 88 acceleration, A's and B's across the board. He will be the replacement for Micha Hyde. Now, this is the team after the draft. I got Keegan in the third round. He doesn't really seem to be that good. Xavier Worthy's a 78 overall. He's immediately going to start at the 1. Hopefully, he's really good. He is very light. He's a 167, so I guess that's really why he can run a 4.21 laser time officially at the combine, but hopefully his speed with Josh Allen's arm is going to be a deadly combo. Defensively though, Nubin, I'm going to make the starter over Taylor Rapp just because I want him to develop. Nicholas Morrow, Matt Milano, Williams, Gregory Rousseau, Von Miller is regressing. Hopefully I can just write out his contract. And then Nubin, I don't want as a depth corner here. I'd rather have Elm here as the slot. And then Worthy is not going to be in the slot. Neither is Kincaid. Don't want Kincaid being in the slot because he's a tight end, of course. Then everyone else here looks good. Hopefully Josh Allen carries us to a playoff because, honestly, the way it's looking right now, I mean, defense definitely doesn't look bad, but there's things we can definitely improve on because Von Miller isn't going to be here the entire time for sure. And then probably going to lose Rasul Douglas, Mike Edwards, stuff like that. Matt Milano probably all to age. And yeah, apart from that, hopefully Xavier Worthy balls out for year number 1. But for now, let's move into the midseason. 4-3, second in the division behind the Aaron Rodgers 5-2 Jets, coming off a win to the Colts. For the scouting national focus, do I do interior offensive line? Maybe go with another receiver here because Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir won't get it done. I think Shakir and Curtis Samuel are solid receivers in real life, but in Madden, it's a little bit of a different story as always. Maybe I go with safety here. I think that's actually middle linebacker. Let's do that. For the players ready to negotiate, Teron Johnson here. I think I'm fine with giving him a 1-year contract. It's only $13 million, but it's only 1 more year, so it's not really that big of a problem. I want to assess the players that I have here before I start dishing out contracts. I remember thinking AJ Epineza was going to be really, really good in real life, especially for a second-round pick. He was supposed to be a first-round pick. Then I believe he got injured or just had like a really, I don't know, he had a really bad combine in real life, and he just flew down the board, and he just wasn't good anymore. But still, I remember I thought he was going to be really good, but I guess not. Taylor Rapp, AJ Epineza, KJ Hamler, don't really have an interest in them for myself. Spencer Brown, this is weird. 2 years, I don't mind 2 years with him. Even though he's normal dev, he's a 79. That's not bad. Deion Dawkins got a contract in real life. I forgot what it was, but for now, I'm just going to give him a 2-year in Madden. And then Rasul Douglas, he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be historic champs. I don't think that's going to change this year. I'm going to be out of money too. So I don't think I'm going to take that. Only $12 million left to spend here. But for now, let's move into the playoffs. Well, well, well. Look who we're here to play. Whiny Stefon Diggs. And this year with the Texans, injuries off, by the way, 64 receptions, 800 yards, and 6 touchdowns with the Texans. Whenever he was on the Bills, his previous season, 108 receptions, over 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Now he's having worse production, and people are like, oh, well, he didn't get enough targets from his QB. He had plenty of targets from his QB. He got plenty of work from his QB. He was just being whiny for no reason, and now he's getting even less work with the Texans. Let's see if we can beat them. Imagine if we beat them off the rip in the wild card, just to shove it in his face and be like, you couldn't do shit without us anyway, Stefon Diggs. Either way, we are 12-5, second in the division to the Jets, coming off a win to the Patriots. Sucks that we're second in the division, but either way, our passing game is 23rd, but the rest of our ranks look pretty solid. For the stats and awards, Josh Allen, always a top 10 QB, 10th best offense in the NFL, 14th best defense. Josh Allen, 4,100 yards, 34 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. I'm not going to lie, like, as much as I love this in Madden, this is unrealistic. Completely laughable. Only 3 interceptions for Josh Allen. Come on. It should at least be double digits here. I'm kidding. If he improves like this in the next season, that would actually be crazy. 115 pass rating rushing-wise. James Cook, 11 touchdowns, 4.0 per carry, 1,200 yards. And Xavier Worthy, rookie season, 93 receptions, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Amazing rookie year. Khalil Shakir, 8 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. That's a great year for him. Curtis Samuel, mid. Dawson Knox, though, for a tight end, 4 touchdowns, 710 yards, 71 receptions is a nice season for a tight end. Matt Milano, 141 tackles for a loss, 15 for Gabe Hall, the defensive tackle. I didn't select him, but he's a future starter apparently. And then sacks, 17 for Gregory Rousseau, that's at least superstar dev. Ed Oliver with 13, that's superstar dev as well. And Von Miller with 11.5, that's great to see. 4 interceptions for Kyer Elm. Dude, 4 interceptions, that might be a star dev there. That's really nice for his development overall. But let's see if we can beat Stefon Whiny Diggs to see if we can move on to the divisional round and just shove it in his face. It would be funny if we did, but let's see if we can do it. And we don't. Wow, he shoves it in our face. 16-10 loss, unfortunately. We're going to move into the offseason. And the script writers did not allow Stefon Diggs to go to the Super Bowl. So what I said before in my previous video about him still being in the AFC is going to be his downfall. I was absolutely right. The Ravens win the Super Bowl against the Cowboys, who Cowboys always make the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP. Xavier Worthy wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's sick. In the AFC East, Aaron Rodgers and Tyron Smith both retire. That's amazing for us. And Raheem Mostert and Teron Armstead both retire. Von Miller retires for us, but that's fine. We still have double-digit sack numbers from different players. Yeah, this division got a whole lot easier for us. For the team upgrades, Xavier Worthy, I would argue X Factor. I know he went from star to superstar here after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, but didn't he just produce better numbers than rookie season Jamar Chase? I may be wrong about that, but 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, crazy rookie year. I would argue X Factor, but for now, I'm just going to leave it at superstar because, maybe he's just that cracked in simulation. But either way, if he stays that cracked, he'll get X Factor eventually. Offensively, he's the only upgrade. Defensively, Rasul Douglas gets superstar. The fact that Gregory Rousseau had 17 sacks, I would argue X Factor after having 17 sacks in a season. That's averaging 1 sack a game, which is nuts in the NFL. I'm at least giving him superstar. I would argue X Factor again, but I'm just going to give him superstar. And then Ed Oliver, 13.5 sacks for a defensive tackle. That's an amazing year. Definitely he deserves superstar as well. I know some people may consider it me cheating, quote unquote, like, oh, you're cheating. No, it's called me being realistic because the game allows you to edit players because they know that they can't even make a proper game. Because if they did, they wouldn't allow you to edit things. But anyways, Newbin, he's only a star dev. Everyone else here is the same. Hall apparently balled out, but he's only a 71 overall with no upgrade. Like, for a rookie, Gabe Hall, 15 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks for a defensive tackle as a rookie. That's a great season for a defensive tackle, especially in the rookie year, but I'm not going to give him an upgrade because I already gave 2 other players an upgrade already. So for now, let's move in to the re-signings. For the players ready to negotiate, Rasul Douglas just doesn't want to be here. Can I just bump his money by like a lot? I know I have a lot of money here now that Von Miller retired. I'll do a 2-year contract. He re-signs on that. I should have just not done it as long, but still. Kaiir Elm actually had a good season with 4 interceptions, and he actually got star dev, which is something I missed. I'm not going to accept his option, but I will re-sign him in the next season. If he still has an interest, then everyone else here I'm not really interested in. So let's see what we have for free agency. I offered on 6 different players, and only 2 of them ended up signing. I wanted Zadarius Smith as a fill-in player just to replace Von Miller. He didn't sign. I wanted a different defensive tackle other than Sheldon Rankins, I believe. I forgot who it was. Harrison Phillips is who it was. He didn't sign. Tried to sign a bunch of other players, and they all just said, nah. Tried to get D-Hop as a number 2. He didn't want to come. And then, so we got Ryan Wright here as a punter because we don't have Matt Ariza anymore. The punt god, he's on the Chiefs now. And then Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle. Yes, I'm making a joke here with the punter. Please don't say in my comments, oh, he was cut a long time ago, Vic. I can't believe you didn't know that. Yeah, and just for those guys saying, oh, I never see those comments. Trust me, they exist sometimes. At first, I wasn't really going to plan on taking a DB in the first round, but this DB class is so stacked I had to. Dalton Calhoun out of Michigan, 5'11", 200 pounds, 91 speed, 90 acceleration, very balanced athleticism, hidden dev, and then A hit power, B catching, B press, B zone coverage, A awareness. He looks great. In the second round, getting another wide receiver, George McKell out of Alabama, 6 foot, 215, hidden dev, 92 speed, 94 acceleration, B medium route, B deep route, but he had very nice athleticism, so that's the main reason why I took him. He's a playmaker, so he'll probably play at the number 2. How are these DBs falling? Look at these guys. These guys are all first round projections. These are the top of the board. Second round, like this is how stacked the DB class. This guy's, I'm in the 3rd round, and this guy out of Louisville, he looks sick. Like A zone coverage, this guy, Antoine Molden, elite speed, runs a 4.26 at his pro day. That's sick. George Collins looks solid across the board. A zone coverage, A press. I'm going to take Antoine Molden. And he may not have the skills that the other guys do, but he's very balanced with B-man coverage, B-zone coverage, man-to-man archetype primarily, but elite speed, great acceleration. I'm in the 3rd round. How the hell did he fall this far? I mean, normal dev, I don't care. His overall is going to be really high, 95 overall, 95 speed, 91 change of direction, 93 acceleration, only 84 jumping, but still B-zone coverage, B-man coverage, very athletic. For a 3rd round pick, I'll definitely take that. And before you guys ask, yes, my draft class is set to normal. I'll even prove it here. I'm not even going to make any cuts, so that way you guys don't think I'm like cheating or anything. Go here. What do I edit strength of the draft class? Let's go here. Normal. Just normal across the board. I never change this. I think increasing it to strong for the draft class is just a really lame way of rebuilding a team, because then it's not even a rebuild. It's just like you just pick whoever you want and then your team goes crazy. This guy right here, George Collins out of Ole Miss, I'll take him. Even though he is solid across the board, he has great skills in A zone coverage, A press, B catching, B injury, and he has normal dev as well. I don't care. He's going to be really high overall, just like the next guy. This is the 3rd corner I'm picking up because these first round prospects just keep falling. And by the way, I've never seen this many first round prospects, especially for DBs, fall this far. So I definitely didn't need to take one in the 1st round, but can I snag another one here in the 5th round is my question. Probably could. Actually, I do not, but prospects aren't really that good anymore. So for now, I'm just going to skip out on the rest of the draft. And looking at my draft recap, Calhoun here is a 74 overall hidden dev, so that's great. 76 overall from George McKell. Then Molden here is a 76. I told you he was going to be a nice overall, dude. 76 is a great overall. These guys were falling in the 3rd and 4th rounds. I don't know how. 76 for Collins as well, 63. And then these guys I didn't pick. Rounds 5, 6, and 7 I didn't pick. But these guys, 76, well, 74 was my worst pick, and then the rest of these guys were 76. Who was the highest in this class? I want to know if the 76 were so common. 81 overall, middle linebacker at pick number 7. You got your next Luke Kuechly here. Dude looks like a QB, 6'1", 231 out of West Virginia. This guy looks sick for the Panthers. Everyone else, though, takes a huge drop-off. Bryce McPhee for the Rams, a DB. It's nice. A halfback in the 2nd round. That's 77, but he's a normal dev and he's 5'8". But anyways, I think we had a really, really good draft, especially since so many corners fell. Taking 3 in the first 4 rounds is kind of crazy, but still, I'll take them if they have a high overall. Now, this is the team after the draft. McKell, I'm going to move to the number 2 here. Hopefully he gets a lot more reps. And then Curtis Samuel, do I really want him on this team? I mean, he's really cheap. There's no reason to cut him, so I'm just going to keep him at the 3 for now. McKell is going to be the 2. Shakir, surprisingly, he didn't even get star dev. I just noticed that. He had a really good season last year, but not bad. And then O-line, it does not look the greatest. It's really just a left guard. Connor McGovern, then Brown, Osiris Torrance, Deion Dawkins. All aren't bad at all here. This is definitely not a bad offensive line. Offensively, we are slowly developing, but it's definitely not the best thing, but it's definitely not the worst either. All these guys, wow, my DB isn't even on here because he's 74. Benford. Yeah, I need to move some of these guys around, actually. Calhoun, my first round, Dalton Calhoun, is at the bottom of the depth chart here because he's only a 74 overall. But he's a zone archetype with 78 zone coverage. Very lackluster man coverage, even though he's only 5'11". With that being said, if he has such lackluster man coverage, I think it would make more sense to put him at strong safety. So him at strong safety, I'm going to start him over Edwards, and he actually gets a boost in overall for moving there. I think that's better for the team. And my depth at DB is actually kind of crazy. I may need to sign an edge rusher who is officially rushing off that edge there. I'm going to sign probably a replacement edge rusher. I'm going to move Molden into the slot because he's really, really fast. Shakir, sure, he can play slot there, and then Mikel will be the number 2. The right ends for edge rushers really suck. I'm not going to sign Dietrich Wise. Who's the left ends available? Brennan Jackson? I mean, he's 23. Sure, let's give him a chance. He's not showing up, so if I adjust my roster, it completely changes everything. But Jackson hopefully comes off the edge. Yeah, he's a 71 overall. Now I have to change everything back. I forgot to draft a linebacker in this draft. I wanted to draft a middle linebacker, but Bernard here definitely isn't bad. And Jackson, sure, we'll give him a chance. It's better than Thomas, whoever this guy is. And everyone else, whatever, I'm fine with, I guess. Specialist Molden's in the slot. Shakir's in the slot as well. Everything else looks good for year number 2. A lot of nice depth at the secondary now. But for now, let's move into the midseason. 5-1 at top of the division. The Jets and Dolphins aren't doing too hot without some of their superstars on their team anymore. Our offensive passing game is one of the worst in the NFL, which really sucks after getting a new receiver, but our defense is actually doing really nicely. Scouting national focus, I think I actually am going to keep it at middle linebacker, or do I go defensive tackle? I'll just keep him at actually, I should go, what's a weakness? It's not a strength of class. QB, wide receiver, corners, a strength, all things I don't need as of right now, so I think I'm going to go outside linebacker to hopefully get a new edge rusher. For the players ready to negotiate, Gregory Rousseau is going to get a bag, almost $20 million a year here, and he resigns on that. James Cook doesn't want to be here. He wants to be in a big market. Can't really do it. I mean, you're in New York technically. You're not in New York City, but like you're in New York. Like, come on, dude. Anyways, we're just gonna have to overpay for him, and he resigns on that. Teron Johnson, I don't need you, but I also don't not need you because you're also the highest overall DB on my team. But I also have so much depth at DB. But if you want to be here, sure, I'll do another 1 year with you. Now, this is where things get a little bit weird because I have so many great depth DBs. I might just trade Poyer here just because my depth is already so crazy. I don't need to have him on this team. I know it's a cheap contract, but I don't need to dish it out. So I think I might trade him. He's not moving too far, going from Buffalo, New York to New Jersey Giants, not the New York Giants. Him and a 5th are getting traded for a 2nd. And as much as he has star dev, he's young. You used a first-round pick on him. I already have so much depth. I don't need to dish out a contract if I don't need to. Mike Edwards, I already got his replacement. Christian Benford. I already have a lot of depth. I don't really need you. You want to mentor at your position? You already have so many players there, so don't really want you. Khalil Shakir, if he puts up numbers like he did last year, I will re-sign him. Hopefully he gets start ev this time. Terrell Bernard, no. Brennan Jackson, he wants to be here real bad. How bad, though? Team friendly, if you take like $3 million a year, I'll re-sign you. How about that? This is as much as I'm willing to give you, okay? Unacceptable, dog. Nobody wanted you in the first place. I only wanted you depth at most, unless you ball out this year. Connor McGovern just doesn't want to be here. Same thing with Curtis Samuel, Sheldon Rankins. Actually, Curtis Samuel does want to be here. I just don't really want him. Everyone else here, not really interested in. Let's move in to the offseason, not the offseason, the playoffs. 12-5, top of the division now that the Dolphins don't have their franchise left tackle. The Jets don't have franchise QB, along with the Patriots, of course. Jacksonville Jaguars, 10-7. We're here to face them in the wild card. Home field advantage, coming off a Week 18 win against the Falcons. Stats and awards, Josh Allen, not as good as last year, but definitely not bad. 15th best offense, 2nd best defense is amazing. Josh Allen, almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 receptions, 103 pass rating. For almost, like, I think he's a 99 at this point in the game. For almost, or if not, a 99 X-Factor QB. I expect better than this. James Cook, 13 touchdowns, 4.1 per carry, 1,100 yards. Josh Allen, 3 rushing touchdowns. I feel like he would have more yards and more touchdowns than this rushing-wise, but still, Jalen Wright, the backup with 5 rushing touchdowns. Xavier Worthy with 113 receptions, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. Great year for him. George McKell, 4 touchdowns, 700 yards. Dawson Knox, 600 yards. Shakir, a little bit of a disappointment here. Thought he would do a lot better after his previous season. I don't know if I'm going to re-sign him, though. Defensively, Matt Milano, 122 tackles for a loss, 19 for Ed Oliver. Sacks, 19 for Greg Rousseau. That's definitely X factor. Ed Oliver with 8 sacks. Brennan Jackson, honestly, this isn't bad. Like, even if he's just depth, 18 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks. I actually really like that. Interception 3 for Dalton Calhoun, the rookie strong safety who I moved back. Gregory Rousseau also with the safety, but 0 defensive touchdowns. And against the Jacksonville Jaguars, can we beat them to move on to the divisional round this year rather than being eliminated? Nope. 28-21. Once again, our offense is too weak. Let's move into the offseason. And the Cowboys don't only get their revenge on the Ravens, they bend them over the table and go crazy. 45-10 as the Cowboys humiliate the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP. Lamar wins the Offensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year. And there are no awards here for the Bills. Really unfortunate that we didn't get any awards there for the rookies, because I really thought my strong safety would get Defensive Rookie of the Year after having 3 interceptions for his safety. Either way, AFC East, Rob Havenstein, Morgan Moses, and Jordan Poyer all retire. For the team upgrades, Mikal comes with Stardev. Curtis Samuel's on his final year. I'm not going to re-sign him. I'll probably just re-sign Shakir. He's not a bad 3, even if his contract says so. But for the rest of the team, defensively, what do we got? Rousseau's an X Factor. Ed Oliver gets X Factor. And Jackson gets Star Dev. So I guess it was worth the signing. I mean, hey, if we got him for free, we got him for free. Calhoun has Superstar Dev. That's an awesome pickup for us. Nobody else gets an upgrade. That's fine with me. So 85 overall. Let's move into the re-signing. Dalton Kincaid, I'll accept that option, though I don't really know if I want to re-sign him just because Dawson Knox, I'm already dishing out so much money to him. Mike Edwards is just old. Benford, I wouldn't mind back, but again, I have a lot of depth. Khalil Shakir, since it's only $7 million a year, I'll do a 3-year contract. He can be my slot for the rest of the rebuild. For Bernard, no. Brennan Jackson, though, I'm definitely going to give him a neutral deal here, and I'm going to make it 4 years. $7 million a year definitely isn't bad for an edge rusher. He wants to be here, and he re-signs with the team. I'm honestly fine. If he continues to put up 6 sacks and 18 tackles for a loss per season, he's fine with me. He can stay as long as he wants. Then Curtis Samuel, he's 30. Sheldon Rankins is 32. Everyone else here, not really interested in. Let's move into free agency with $60 million to spend. Damn, hold up. Mitchell Trubisky's already 32 in this simulation, so that means he's 30 in real life. I did not know I was that old. Damn. Time flies, dude. After free agency, finally getting a real left guard for Josh Allen. Joe Thuney on a 2-year deal. We got Kenny Clark, who's playing left end. I'm going to move him inside to defensive tackle, which is technically what he profiles as in real life. He's 314 pounds, 6'3". Of course, he's actually a defensive tackle, but he's 30 years old. He's an 86 overall. Got him on a 1-year deal. Jawan Bentley also got him on a 1-year deal. And honestly, this defense is shaping up back up nicely with Ed Oliver, Kenny Clark in the middle, Gregory Rousseau developing very nicely. Calhoun and Newbin also very nicely for a safety duo. Obviously not Micha Hyde and Jordan Poyer, but they're getting close to it. They're getting up there in overall. One of them already has Superstar Dev. I believe they both had Superstar Dev in Madden, so they're getting close to it. 87 overall. Let's move into the draft. In the first round, I'm picking up a guy who is supposed to go in the 3rd round. Yes, I know it's crazy, but unless it's a top 10 pick, middle linebackers go off the board crazy fast, and even if I waited till the 2nd round, he probably would have been taken early 2nd round. A Carmelo Baxter out of Virginia Tech, 6'3", 240, 85 speed, 85 acceleration, hidden dev, A hit power, B power moves, A tackle, B awareness. He looks great. Even if I reached on him, he still looks really good, and he'll probably start over Jawan Bentley. In the 2nd round, getting right outside linebacker to potentially replace Matt Milano if he just regresses into oblivion. Xavier Conrad out of Louisville, 6'1", 225, 86 speed, 86 jumping, 88 acceleration, hidden dev, pass coverage archetype, A awareness, A pursuit, B impact blocking, B tackle. Obviously F power moves, but more pass coverage, B man coverage is what I like to see, and he's going to replace Matt Milano if he retires. This is the team moving into year number 3. I forgot that I lost Connor McGovern, so I guess Keegan's moving inside. Didn't even realize that I lost Connor McGovern, but Joe Thuney is still a nice addition to the offensive line. Offense is shaping up really nicely here. Dawson Knox, not Dalton Knox. How much left is on his contract here? He's really not doing crazy numbers for me, but I also have Dalton Kincaid. He's in his final year being paid $15 million. I think I'd rather just keep Kincaid because Dawson Knox is about to turn 30. He's just regressing, and Dalton Kincaid I'm about to have to pay. So I'm probably just going to move on from him. I have an 86 overall team. Looks like this AI picked up this guy named Irving, but Baxter is a 76. Conrad is a 72. So either way, I think this D-line and this defense overall looks great. Hopefully Brennan Jackson goes crazy. And then Shakir is going to be the slot, of course. Kincaid is contending for the slot as well. Everyone else here, I really want my other guy, my sub linebacker Baxter, to be in with the sub linebackers, but for now I'm just going to leave it. Williams, how old are you? Haven't you been regressing, Dorian Williams? He has not been regressing, just hasn't been progressing as much as I wanted him to, but still, he's not bad. 25 star dev. Year number 3, can we please finally make it past the wild card round? 4-2 at the midseason mark, second in the division, coming off a win to the Broncos. Scouting national focus, I don't really need anything else, but sure, defensive tackle, I guess. For the players ready to negotiate, Kenny Clark just doesn't want to be here anymore. It's the same scheme I signed you into, and you want to be close to home, and you want to be historic champs. Literally, you had interest with the team before, and now you suddenly don't. That doesn't make any sense at all. Rasul Douglas, you just don't want to be here. You still aren't historic champs. Dawson Knox, I already gave my 2 cents on you. Sirens Torrance, I do want you back. Let's do a 3-year deal with him. He resigns. I still have $81 million here, which is surprising. Dorian Williams, he's 25. He's young. He has started, but I wish he would have progressed a little bit faster. Still, he resigns with the team. Teron Johnson, I don't know. I'll wait till the end of the year on that. Tyrus Knight, I mean, he's only a 66. He doesn't really have an interest with the team either. What do you want even? He wants to be close to home in Alaska? Dog, you want to go to Seattle? That's like the only place you can go to. My God. Anyways, in Alaska. All right. Spencer Brown, might as well just keep him for the final year. Why not? $67 million. He resigns. Deion Dawkins, exact same case. Let's do a 2-year deal with him, and he resigns. Matt Milano, he's about to be 33. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to work out. Juwan Bentley, he's just playing his depth. I don't know if he's going to work out either. Xavier Worthy, I'll accept his option at the end of the year. But for now, let's see if we make the playoffs. In the playoffs once again, and this time we lose the Dolphins in Week 18, not the other way around. Sound familiar, Dolphins fans? In real life, but this is Madden. We lose to them as we also lose the division with it, finishing 10-7. You're going to face the Ravens in the wild card. I can't wait to lose another wild card simulation. Josh Allen, another top 10 season, 11th best offense in the NFL. 16th best defense, though. That's going from 2nd to 16th, even though I improved my D-line. All right. Josh Allen, 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 105 pass rating. Nice season overall. Just I want his touchdowns to be a little bit more higher because, of course, he's a 99 overall. James Cook is cooking. 18 touchdowns, except for that 3.9 per carry. I wanted at least 4, but he's only progressed, and for some reason his average has gone down throughout the simulations. But still, 1,100 yards, Josh Allen with 500 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy continues to produce amazing numbers. 96 receptions, 1,200 yards, only 4 touchdowns, but still. Khalil Shakir back up to 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. This would be superstar dev in real life. I'm sure EA will just give him star. At least he'll get star. And then George McKell, 4 touchdowns, 800 yards. Dawson Knox, 3 touchdowns, 700 yards. Matt Milano, 116 tackles for a loss, 15 for Kenny Clark, sacks, 14.5 for Greg Rousseau, 6.5 for Ed Oliver, 5 for Brennan Jackson, 12 tackles for a loss, 68 tackles. Not as good as the previous season, but still solid numbers, and it's a cheap contract. Kenny Clark, only 15 tackles for a loss and 3.5 sacks. Not what I'm looking for. I mean, 15 tackles for a loss is nice, but like I expected a little bit better from the X Factor. Interceptions, 3 for Matt Milano. Safety is on team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. Can we please move on to the divisional round? Is it going to be 3 in a row that we lose here in the wild card? Oh my God. 3 in a row, 21-14. Let's move into the 4th and final year. And the Cowboys make the Super Bowl for the 3rd year in a row, but they lose this time to the Chiefs. 41-35. Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP. There are no awards here for the Bills. AFC East, Quandre Diggs retires with the Jets. For the team upgrades, Shakir does finally get started. He should have got it a while ago, but still, it's a nice upgrade. Defensively, what do we got? Matt Milano goes to superstar. Why is my question. I mean, I guess he got some nice tackles, but apart from that, I don't really know why. It's like you get superstar, but you're regressing overall. That's EA Sports for you. But anyways, let's move into the re-signing. For the re-signing, Xavier Worthy, I'm going to accept that option. Kenny Clark, he's a 90 overall superstar X Factor. I'm just going to pay him what he wants. I think it would be cheaper just to tag him. So let me offer him just player friendly. If he accepts, he accepts. I think it's just cheaper to tag him rather than paying him $30 million. Yeah, it's $26 million rather than $30 million. I'll just pay him that. On the tag, Rasul Douglas, 1 more year wouldn't be a problem, so let's give him player friendly, drop it to a year. Well, it's the final year, so just give him 2 years for good measure. And he resigns for another year. Teron Johnson, he's an 84, but why not? It's the final year. Let's try and maintain the team the best way we possibly can, so that way we can just lose in the wild card. I don't really need Dawson Knox anymore. Matt Milano, he has superstar, but he's like basically the same overall as the rookie that I just drafted, Juwan Bentley. It'll actually be nice depth at a 78 overall, so let's just increase this money just a little bit. He resigns on that. I have $12 million left to spend. And with that being said, if I have $12 million, I'm not really going to spend it anywhere else in free agency, and I might as well just keep our superstar. Matt Milano resigns for the final year. Didn't think he would make it this far. But anyways, since we don't have any more money left, let's just move into the draft with the fourth and final year. In the first round, picking up another defensive tackle because why not? It's the final year. Matthew Connor out of Boston College. Our D-line is so stacked with so many X factors on it. Hopefully he's another X factor. 6'2", 285 speed rusher archetype. Matthew Connor, 84 jumping, 81 acceleration, 75 speed, 89 strength for being a speed rusher archetype defensive tackle is actually pretty nice. A finesse moves, B hit power, B tackle, B awareness, and B play rack. Now this is the team moving into the fourth and final year. The AI picked up this guy named DeMarco and McMillan, so I guess we have a really nice receiving core, unlike the Bills in real life, but the offense has shaped up really nicely. It's an 87 overall team. Defense has definitely made a comeback here. Kenny Clark, Connor is a 71 overall. D-line, mainly just X factors. Jackson has actually been solid for us, and he was just a free agency signing that I found out of nowhere just as a filler replacement. He signed with us long term, and honestly, not crazy of a team that I built, but I just want to make it past the wild card, dude. Specialist-wise, Mikel is going to be in the slot since Shakir is the number 2. Everything else looks good here. Fourth and final year. Let's please make it past the wild card for the fourth and final year and just move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, 10-7. Another year of being 10-7, coming off a loss in week 18 to the Philadelphia Eagles. 21-14. It seems like our offense never scores points. Defense holding the other team to 21 points isn't bad, but our offense only putting up 14. It's kind of like Leicester. Our rushing game is 24th. We're in a passing offense. Still, my team ranks don't look bad other than my offensive points per game. Obviously, scoring 14 against the Eagles isn't great, but the Jets, 13-4. They're back on top. I wonder who their new QB is. New QB, Madison Thomas, award winner, superstar out of Ole Miss after only being 1 year in the league. I swear, if this guy eliminates us, I'm going to be mad. 98 throw power as a rookie. Not very athletic, so he's not a Josh Allen. He is 6'5", though, just like Josh Allen. So, very tall, huge arm, not as athletic, but still, Jets have their new franchise QB for the long term. For the stats and awards, Josh Allen, top 10 QB, once again, 14th best offense, and then second best defense. And again, like, this is a great season, just under 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 102 pass rating. In real life, this would be great, but for a 99 X factor, I'm expecting him to go crazy, and he's only throwing 6 interceptions, which is surprising for how he does in real life, but still, he's having a great season overall. Rushing-wise, James Cook, 1,000 yards, only 3.9 per carry, but 13 touchdowns. Josh Allen with 3 rushing touchdowns and 500 rushing yards. Xavier Worthy, 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. Again, he's like super lackluster with these touchdowns. With his speed, I would assume he'd be way better after the catch, but George Mikel is getting more numbers after the catch than he is, but he had 11 touchdowns, 900 yards, still has yet to have a 1,000-yard season. Shakir, he's either up or he's down. This is a solid season, though, especially with the 9 touchdowns, 800 yards. Kincaid, 2 touchdowns, 600 yards. Defensively, Matt Milano, 112 tackles for a loss, 23 for Kenny Clark, sacks, 12.5 for Greg Russo, 8.5 for Ed Oliver, 5.5 for Kenny Clark, 4.5 for Brennan Jackson. He hasn't been crazy for us, but like 13 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. It's only been kind of going down per season, but either way, he's been solid for us, even though he was only a free agency signing that nobody wanted. Tyler Nubin, 3 interceptions. Safeties on the team is 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Can we please beat the Jets in their godly new QB to move on to the divisional round for our first playoff win? We do, thank God. I never play in the wildcard round, and I've never lost 4 wildcard round games in a row. I've never lost 4 in a row, I think, on any of my rebuilds, and that's crazy considering I've been rebuilding teams since 2020, I believe, so it still has yet to come, but of course, we got to play the Chiefs. Josh Allen's kryptonite. I'm so excited. But anyways, let's move into it and see if we can actually do it. Here we are against the Chiefs. They're 16-1. I don't want to blame this loss on, I think we're going to lose this. I think the Chiefs are just a better team. They started off 14-0. I don't want to blame the loss on the AI because the Chiefs are 16-1. It's 21-21. I don't want to speak too early, but they just had a bomb touchdown there. Please, tie it up. We couldn't have something here. Actually, no, they just ruined it. They turned it over in the red zone. They just screwed themselves. We're going to lose in the divisional round. This is a failed rebuild. It sucks. I don't want to blame it on the AI. The Chiefs are 16-1, and it's the Chiefs. And it kind of is realistic that the fact that Patrick Mahomes is still Josh Allen's kryptonite, despite Josh Allen having a better game, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes technically a better pass rating, so he technically did have a better game than him, better completion percentage with less attempts and more yards, but I don't want to blame it, again, on the AI, which is usually what I do. We lost to the Chiefs in the divisional round. It's a realistic thing for the Bills, but it sucks because I think I built a good enough team to easily get at least past the divisional round, but we can't do that. So it seems like Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills do not make it too far without Stefon Diggs on their team. And it sucks because if I can't make it past the wild card round, like, what do you want me to do? It's just, I can't control the simulations. I wanted to hop in there, but at the same time, I just hopped in a little bit too late, and I don't want to force a win. I only want to do 4 years to rebuild a team, because if I do more than that, then it's not a challenge to actually rebuild a team, because then it's just me spamming years over and over and over again until I hope I get lucky with the AI. But it makes sense that we lose to the Chiefs in the divisional round. They're 16-1. I'm not going to complain about that. It's the Chiefs. But anyways, guys, apart from that, if you guys do want me to do another rebuild, top comment. Getting this video to 150 likes, the top comment will choose the next rebuild I do. But apart from that, guys, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.